because it is with some regret that I need to report to our members the hardening of attitudes towards us, and in particular to Ajahn Brahm, by some of the senior monks from the Wat Pah Pong group. Obviously still angry and annoyed over the Bhikkhuni ordination since October 2009. I've just reread my report from last year and realised that the harmony and forgiveness that I was hoping for last year seems still to be a long way away. It feels like things have got worse. Over the past year, I feel our committee and our supporters have, in the interest of harmony and peace, suppressed a lot of feelings and words that could have been said in the hope that the silence would allow these disaffected monks who are displaying ill will towards Ajahn Brahm a clear view of what they are doing in order for them to see just where they're at. The Wat Pah Pong meeting that disenfranchised our centre and Ajahn Brahma's Wat Pah Pong affiliates never made any mention of following through with a ban on any monks speaking or associating with Ajahn Brahm. It never called for Ajahn Brahm or any monks that associate with him to be sent to Coventry. This, however, is the reality of our circumstance now. Monks that were coming to teach or stay at Bodhinyana have been intimidated and told to expect the same treatment that Ajahn Brahm received if they show any friendship towards us. Even monks that we have trained are not allowed to return, on pain of being ostracised. Bodhinyana-connected monks have been refused a place to stay in overseas monasteries connected with Wat Pah Pong. There have been many terrible and hurtful things said and done over the past year, and frankly it makes me feel ashamed that Buddhist people, especially monks, could do such things. I call on the leadership at Wat Pah Pong to take stock of what they are doing. If these things are happening without your knowledge, please investigate it and stop what is happening immediately. Wat Pah Pong has inflicted a punishment on Perth, on the Perth Centre for ordaining bhikkhunis against their wishes. We have accepted that punishment. As mentioned in last year's report, we are very sad about being disenfranchised from Wat Pah Pong. We never set out to have things turn out the way that it did. Wat Pah Pong we can accept that the Wat Pah Pong group do not want to be associated with the ordination of bhikkhunis. However, we expect that Wat Pah Pong should let us go our own way now that we are not affiliated. If there are monks who feel so strongly about women's ordination that they do not want to be associated with us, then that is fine. But we cannot accept the war of fear and intimidation that is being propagated around the world to stop all Wat Pah Pong monks connected with monks associating with us. Unfortunately, the stage is set for some very nasty scenes around the world unless this unfortunate episode can be resolved. We have heard from many people around the world who are very concerned about the edicts that are coming from this select group of monks. Stories of intimidation and threats in order to change constitutions so that Wat Pah Pong can have the final say. Wat Pah Pong needs to understand that Western countries outside Thailand have particular incorporations laws that govern their countries. And I would predict that the constitutions that have been changed following pressure from Wat Pah Pong will not stand up if they ever get to a court. But that's to say nothing at all of the morality of what's behind these monks, behind what these monks are setting out to do here. Why is it that Wat Pah Pong want to have control over Buddhist societies in other countries anyway? Buddhism will only grow in countries where the grassroots people accept it and understand it through their own cultures. Thailand cannot expect to control how Western countries will perceive Buddhism. I just wanted to mention the keynote address that was given at the International Conference on the Dissemination of Theravadan Buddhism in the 21st Century, held in Salaya, Bangkok, September-October 2010, last year, by Richard Gombrich. And he had a lot to say on subjects like this. His discussion focused in particular on Theravadan Buddhism and how it should be propagated in the West. And I would recommend that all interested parties involved in the events since the nun's ordination and who are interested in the best way for host countries to export Buddhism into the countries that are interested in accepting it to read his address. It is available on the web. We are sorry for the trouble that has been caused between good friends in carrying out the ordinations in the way that we did. But I believe it was an inevitable. As my report last year demonstrated, we in Perth have been on this pathway for a long time. Everyone knew what we were planning to do. The constant refrain from our detractors that we should have done it differently and the spurious notion that we did it secretly does not hold water, any way you look at it. As mentioned in last year's report, I still contend and have seen no evidence to change my mind that the secrecy was really from the other side. The way that Wat Pah Pong elders planned to introduce a new Siladhara model for women at the Western Abbots meeting in 2009 still rankles. Ajahn Brahm was never involved in this and was never informed that these secret meetings were taking place. It is here that the rot started, and it needs to be acknowledged. Things may have been very different if we had known about all those meetings and we had a chance to participate in them. We in Perth are resigned to accept our fate in not being part of the Wat Pah Pong group. However, we do not wish to be ostracised by monks who are friends and colleagues. If for reasons that you truly cannot stand to be with us in the presence of our Bhikkhuni community, then okay. But we hope you will eventually change your mind. But for those who are interested in friendship, fellowship and propagation of the Dharma, then please break through this barrier of fear and intimidation and come and visit us. We in turn would love to be accepted and be allowed to visit you. It is time for this trouble to stop. Please accept our open hands in friendship.